question. You see, this is a conversation that I had a few months back with Green Eyes, guys. And this is what he is telling me. I'm going to read this to you. Some of it's been cut out because, he's just wacko sometimes, but this is what he says. And maybe he's not too far off. It says, looking like Jody and Andy bought Summer in December. Something happened in June. Dude with Pew Pew is Andy coming to grab Summer, who came to see the dogs because they owned her. April 2021. Jody and Andy shaved her head. One of them is in the something pig. In December, Candace said she had a house for sale in 2020 because Dawn was making so much money in Utah, but she canceled the sale when Dawn came back, which we know was in October 2020. She said that happened 6 weeks. I'm thinking he's meaning 6 months before Summer went missing. She slipped, makes it December 2020, sold, and something happened in June because Andy, and that's where he dropped off. And I said, first off, dude with Pew Pew is Don Wells. There are a bunch of pics of him and the boys with Pew Pews. Because I honestly thought that was Don Wells. Anyways, I said, and it couldn't have been 6 weeks before Summer got gone. She went missing in June 2021, and why on earth would Jody sue and Andy buy or own Summer? Dude, I think you've took way too many today, or one too many today. He says, Dawn has tats, LOL. First off, you're still dumb. Where's Dawn's tats, LOL? You suck. I said, dude, if I'm so dumb, why are you even talking to me? If I'm so dumb, go find somebody else. Then he says, bought in December, died in June. Andy, their big dope dealer. Who you think bought that Subaru? Andy's mom pays for everything Andy wants. I said, I know he's their dope dealer. He said, how's it Dawn with no tattoos? He said, Subaru was bought in December. You suck at this still. I said, I really don't care if you think I suck. You are not important to me, nor what you think of me. Have a blessed day. So, folks, either this guy is way off his rocker, or maybe he knows something that we don't know. Consider the phone conversations he had with Jody Sue, which is what's going to be the main topic of the live this evening, on top of this right here. But, he was pointing this out to me months ago about this was not Dawn. And maybe, hypothetically, this is what has happened. Allegedly, this may be Andy Bernard. And like other people are saying, it could be H. It could be Damien. We really don't know. I am going to go and look and see if I can find any photos of Andy Bernard to see if he has tattoos on that arm. If anybody has any pictures of Andy Bernard's upper right arm, please send them to me so I can see, so I can compare them. But I'm just wondering, like I said, considering the conversation that Green Eyes has had, and also I have another clip of text where he makes the statement of, I forget, hang on one second. Let me check and see how, so I don't want to word it the incorrect way. Hang on. Okay, I found it. I didn't include it in here, but I can show it at any point in time. We're talking about Candace, or the 2020 trip from New York to here. And we were discussing that, and he says, I said, that's why they didn't stay. And he goes, they claimed they was moving here. The house fell through. So obviously, Mr. Green Eyes actually lives here in Tennessee. Why else would he say they were claiming they were moving here? Now, he had told me he lives in South Carolina. Other people have said that he's located in North Carolina. But to me, they claim they are moving here means that he is here in Tennessee. So maybe he's a little bit closer to this situation than we all think. Maybe he really does know something that we don't know. I think law enforcement needs to find out who Mr. Green Eyes really is. And yesterday on my video, or whenever it was, I kept saying Jacob. It wasn't Jacob Daniels, and I do apologize. It's Daryl Jacobs. Or it was. He's changed his last name now. Again, he changed it on his Facebook profile to something else. I'm just curious, guys. All I'm wanting to do is try to find this baby and find who is involved and what happened to her. And any little clue, which people might think, oh, it's not important. A lot of people, especially one person in particular, has the famous saying is, well, what does that have to do with Summer Wells? Well, you never know until you dig it up. You never know what it might have to do with Summer Wells. Now, Green Eyes was talking to Jody Sue on the phone about they're trying to stick him in a dungeon and trying to unalive him because he knows too much. Who else do we know that was talking about somebody being stuck in a dungeon? Oh, wait, that was Don Wells talking about Summer being put in a dungeon. I think law enforcement needs to get their butts back up there and start digging around on that mountainside and find out if there's some kind of a root cellar or something.
Not to go off that hill. Them dogs always bark. So there is nobody that came and got that kid out of that basement. There is nobody came up on that hill whatsoever. Nobody would have came up that hill without them dogs knowing. And it don't matter if you had been up there 150 times. Them dogs would still raise mortal hell. Don would have to call them off, and he would have to call them off 2 or 3 times for them to quit barking. So no, there's nobody to get up on that hill without them dogs alarming like they did.
And Candace made statement the dogs were not there that day. They disappeared. Do you think there's any way that they could have, one, hid the dogs, and two, do you think anybody could have been hiding, waiting in the basement, or Dawn could have hid the dogs, or Candace could have hid the dogs so that somebody could come up on the hill and take
there is
the dogs?
nowhere to hide 15 to 20 dogs.
Jody Sue said they were missing, and that when they came back, they smelled like hay, and even her dogs were missing that day.
Okay, well, if they were missing, then somebody had to hide them, because they would have never got up on that hill with them dogs loose. Never.
Okay, so I'll leave that at that. I wanted to, just before we got away from
so if it is, it's somebody that's got a hold of them. If it is, there's somebody that's got a hold of them dogs and put them in a barn or put them in a whatever, a shed or whatever, has put them there so that somebody could get up on that hill. As soon as you pull in that driveway and come up that rough driveway, them dogs start on you as soon as you walk or come up that driveway.
They meet you down the hill.
Right, they meet you as soon as you hit below that gate and going up that hill. They meet you right there, and they will follow you all the way to the top and raise hell the whole entire way.
Jody Sue mentioned that these dogs were completely gone. So that, I mean, what I don't understand is, Marlena, is
why were they gone? Why was they gone at that point in time and only on that day? Donnie always had dogs. They was always there. So who helped him take away the dogs? It's like it's plotted. It's like that Dawn and them had helped to do the things that they did. So who is all involved with that? Who's involved with helping catching 15 dogs to put them in a barn stall or a barn down below the hill or whatever it is? Who was involved to help them catch all of them? Them dogs on that hill. Why was the dogs disappeared on the day that Summer went missing? Where was all the dogs? Who helped them catch 15 or 20 dogs and put them in a barn or a shed or something? Who did all that? That's a lot of dogs.
That's another $1 million question right there.
Do you think that they were involved, or Jody or Andy, anybody involved in any dog fighting? Because it seemed Jody and Andy and Fred had a lot of arguments and fights with Fred over stolen dogs.
They didn't fight dogs.
Damn, killer. It's so...
Don, that come about 2 months before someone went missing. I don't know, he come here one night and he had Haskell runs his dog. He picked it up along the road somewhere. He said he'd hit it and stuff. I mean, I recognized the dog as soon as he
said he hit it?
He said he'd hit it down about Big Creek Market, somewhere down there, but I don't know. She didn't act like she'd been hit, you know. Because she got out here and drove me crazy up on the 10, top of the roof, running back and forth and every damn thing. I was trying to get over to Haskell, Hack is his real name, but...
This is Hack.
To come and get her, and then he was trying to say like I had stole her or something.
What kind of dog is...
She just mixed up like dogs. Well, they're some kin to the dogs that is
that were down there?
Yeah, the smaller like dogs.
Oh, okay. So kind of like, probably like mine.
Like they call them Mountain Five, I guess, or something like that.
Like Jody Sue's right about the dogs. Once again, you all keep dismissing since day one and trying to make it seem like it ain't something it is. And those fucking dogs are the key. Those dogs are the key.
Did you hear any dogs that day?
No.
The dogs weren't barking that day?
Nope, and I should have.
So,
all of our
communication, like Don said, I mean, where the hell were the dogs?
I don't know, and that's the thing. They have a tendency around there to disappear on days you think are going to be average, but then something happens. It would happen every time during like our peeping Tom incidents, right?
So talk a little bit about that.
For a couple years before Summer was born, right, for a couple seasons, what was happening was Monster would go out to this job he supposedly had on Lake Middle Tennessee, but somebody was, and it was never like super planned in advance, right? So there was no date. He'd just come home from one place, be like, oh, I'm leaving. I gotta go down here, right? Work. And I'm like, whatever, you know? And so somebody was close enough to see when he was coming and going. And knew the properties well enough to sneak up beside of my bedroom window, where at the time, my daughter was only 5, 6, right? And for years, I'd always believed like they were just peeping on me. But I was like, well, wait, when Monster was gone, Little was with me, you know, co-sleeping, you know. And but they were adept, and I knew the property well enough to be able to sneak. I could see their shadow moving through, right? And they would stand right at the screen, which is only like an arm's length away, because they're smaller farmhouses, right? And I'd have the window open, and you could barely hear them, even though, like, I wasn't big on, you know, the raking or anything. They could stand right there, and you could not hear them. One night, I'd had enough, because this person would stand there for a very long time, right? And I'd had enough. And I went outside, and they ran, and I chased them down, got about halfway down the driveway. I was like, whoa, this particular medicine is a heart, like, blood pressure type of medicine. I reached out to grab this person, this man, and I was like, oh dear, you've left the kids behind. If something happens to you, they're here, you know. So I just stopped, and I turned back around and went in. But this went on off and on, you know, for a couple of years. And then Monster kept telling me I was crazy and all these things, you know, like, you know, whatever. And then finally I was like, look, I was like, I'm not. Our dogs are disappearing, right? As this happens every time, they come back injured eventually. You can tell that there's like rope marks on them. They smell like hay. They're being kept somewhere. A couple times there'll be like cologne and things. I'm like, something is wrong here. Somebody is, you know. And it got so bad that I was finally like, look, you know, and at the same time, I was also getting these anonymous, I guess from Amazon or whatever. Amazon would not give me the name of the person, but it was stuff I'd only talked about in the house, like Monster or the kids, about needing like clay softener, weird stuff, little things, right? Somebody was sending them anonymous. It was like a power move, like, you know, I hear you. You know, type, it was like, oh my God. Did you happen to come across clothing you couldn't go out and explain inside of your barns, buildings, outbuildings, anything like that, even if it was years later?
maybe nothing on them or anything. But did they seem like, well, wait a minute, these aren't the sizes of, or this there? You thought, well, it was just trespassers or some hanky-panky by somebody in our barn or something. They left their shit behind, or you didn't think anything of that then, but you may not.
But I was like, look, how about we take you out, or you go out in your Jeep, like you're doing whatever. I'll come out a little bit, act like I'm getting groceries, whatever it is, and we'll cover you up in the back and bring you back in. Well, that's what we did. And then throughout the day and stuff, he stayed very quiet. And that night, like clockwork, and the dogs had disappeared again. Here comes this person. I was like, told you.
That is
Like, told you. And he chased him down, but then he lost him because he was way heavy set at the time. He turned back around to get the vehicles there, and they went right towards Sullivan County side. There was a truck involved, all these things, and we called the police that night. But that went on for a couple years. But I believe it was the one where he almost caught him, and he's always, because the next day, I met Candace for the first time. I was like, what's going on here? Even then because it was like, I don't know, it seemed very strange to me that the neighbors had been over for so long, hadn't made an appearance till the day after. That's weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, of course it is.
And then John makes his appearance in the realm, but I mean, it was like throughout the year. I mean, and then I didn't know at the time that Candace was pregnant with Summer, and all these other things. But then after Summer's born, I felt like it let off, but then in ways maybe not, as I've looked back through patterns and things. But for the longest time until it was happening, it was like, man, I felt like it was like an adult peeping in on me, but it was like, man, here she is at the same age that Summer's taken, there's something, I just feel like, I don't know, right?
Right, correct, but there's no, but you don't know who it was.
Andy's always said it was Dawn, or there's one other person, but that also, they're very good friends with Dawn, and they hang out on their hill all the time, and stay there intermittently.
The one that I was telling you about last night, Haskell Rhymes, with a dog that belonged to him in the vehicle, and ends up letting the dog out here.
He hit or whatever on the road at Beach Creek Market, and then come find out he had been, the truth behind that story, he had been to, I'm trying to think of his name, Clifford Compton's, which lives beside a hack, and that's where he actually picked up a dog. I think I say something on this about it come from Dave Brooks, but come to find out, it was when he was at Clifford Compton's, which is Cody Compton's pet.
No. You heard my question, Ziggy. Why did you and Fred give Ernie the Cody Compton information? What does that have to do with any of it?
What are you talking? There's a Cody Compton lives right there around the 3500.
What are you talking about? There's a Cody Compton. Well, why not give Ernie intimate details about Paul Hill? You giving Ernie intimate details about just a shady white dude that claims he's a vice lord.
With it and stuff. I mean, I recognized the dog right off inside the vehicle, and then he ended up, she got out of the vehicle, and then I finally contacted Hack, I think the next day, to come and get it, and he acted like I probably stole your dog or whatever. Why would I steal your dog and contact you to come and get it,
Well, Hack he drinks a lot, so.
I was when TBI questioned Marvin and Haskell was questioning them out there at Marvin's that day. Haskell brought up, did you check? He called him Pappy Bates' place, and that would just felt weird, because Marvin's like, why would Hack say to the TBI, did you check Uncle Pappy's Bates' place? And that was about the time all that happened too. What made it feel weird?
That Haskell had brought up David Bay's property.
FBI never was at my place. I never have spoke to FBI. I just spoke to the TBI the evening of the 16th that month. when they come and took a statement. And then the forensics, when them bones was called in, you know, that's only 2 times I talked to them at that time. Until I turned that information in from Knoxville, and they had that one to come up there.
Yeah.
On my phone to the Hawkins County Jail. That's only 3 times I talked to the FBI. I mean TBI, not FBI. I thought it was odd that Jody kept saying that the FBI, they kept talking to the FBI, questioning them and stuff. That's what it makes sense to me. Why the FBI questions when I've not talked to them or seen them or nothing. Or note of them talking to anybody else. I know TBI talked to Marvin and Hank.
Maybe, I mean, do you think she's calling the...
Chad, and I know when they come out there to talk to Marvin at Marvin's house to talk to him, Haskell was there, and then when they left from there, they went to a long store and talked to David Bays, because they told him that David was out there at that one place where he picked up that bike that day for Brandon. Brought in. He was actually there. So they questioned him out there, and who was it? Pat Wilcox too out there. They pretty much questioned everybody that was on camera, that had been seen on camera from 2 weeks prior to Summer going missing up to Summer going missing.
He said, pull out her trustee's phone book. You know I run my own phone. What does Lena do? Lamont wondered aloud, watching Lena roll down with him.
Dawn have a motorcycle. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Candace got rid of it about the time Jose come down, from what I understood. It was the last time he had the motorcycle.
So in like October of 2020, then.
I don't know exactly what date it was.
Well, I mean, I just know it was off.
Jose was there, supposedly by Bill Benton.
I just know it was October 2020 when that whole incident happened where the police were called. So, and he had just came back from Utah. Yeah, when he came back and there was some kind of incident where the police were called.
Candace supposedly had sold a Toyota truck of Dawn's too, and then they ended up calling it installed or something around that same time. It was in some kind of... Haskell's the one that sent it to me and was talking about it. He was on some kind of Facebook group that lost and stole or something of Hawkins County or something.
He come here to look at that and I wasn't here.
Who's him?
I didn't even
Dawn
know
or
he was here.
Haskell?
And then
Heck, Grimes came up here. His name's Hack. And but that was after Summer went missing, though, wasn't it? It wasn't even on the 15th. But it was still after. It was like right before the dog, so still.
That was on the 6th.
That's so weird.
I couldn't figure out how he even got in the holler or whatever.
So Hack Rhines had supposedly had showed up around the 16th, and he was over at 165 and 207, and the dog, and it just and the out. Yeah, that's weird.
That's what I was thinking at that time. But they said
he was over at 165 and 207, and the dog, and it just and the out when the scent dogs came down, it hit the same place as he had been. That's weird.
That's what I was thinking at that time.
Hack Grimes came up here. His name's Hack. And but that was after Summer went missing, though, wasn't it? It wasn't even on the 15th. But it was still after. It was like right before the dog, so still.
That was on the 6th.
That's so weird.
I couldn't figure out how he even got in the holler or whatever.
So Hack Ryan's had supposedly had showed up around the 16th, and he was over at 165 and 207, and the dog, and it just and the when the scent dogs came down, it hit the same place as he had been. That's weird.
That's what I was thinking at that time. But they said that they thought it was where Candace had been gone at my place, but why would it be unless he didn't show Candace or nothing? It had been up Mom's and Dad's, so that's what concerned me too. Made me wonder.
Yeah, because the only time Candace had been down there is just but that was down at 207 when she saw Chad. But she was out walking around too in the holler on the 15th, supposedly, wasn't she too, a little bit, and driving?
But it showed her out of the vehicle on Thompson's camera, but it didn't show her out of the vehicle. I mean, just walking up on my vehicle, our cameras, other than her just walking up the driveway. When there was a short video and audio of her and Chad talking.
High school. Is it real?
I tried looking up on Facebook, but I might be spelled.
Jack, what goes through.
Well, I had took and purchased that old piece of trailer off of High School Ryan's because somebody done stole one of his in a boat from up.
And it was over there?
Yeah, that's where it was at David Bases.
Oh, okay, so they wouldn't let people.
Even though he had property on that road, they wouldn't let him even go in.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense why they even let Hack in. And I asked Hack, how did he get in? He told him he was informant such and such. That's what he told me.
He claimed he was an informant?
That's what he told me.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. That's what he told me.
He would do that. Now talk about him he's a jokester type. So.
He is like to cut up and stuff. I mean, all the time. He calls everybody brother, sister, and
yeah.
And the ones he calls elders is the people that's passed away and stuff. And that is like now, if he even you try to ask him anything, he won't just answer you. He'll send you a song, and then you got to listen to the song and then put it together to figure out the answer to what your question is.
Right. So he's just
He sent me a song a few days ago.
He's just an interesting character and hard to, you have to. Yeah. So when he said informant, he probably was just like, I don't know. People that weren't like staying here.
They own property, but they live there. They weren't even allowed in. Yeah,
How long did they do that for?
About a month or longer.
Oh wow! So they didn't let anybody back here for a month?
No.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, they shut it down at the end of March. They set up camp and everything over there. I mean,
They was
and even at the command post down here at Farmer Church.
They really did put one.
A lot of it, they searched every vehicle coming and going from there usually.
I will give
I mean, up and down the highway. Even
and they did. It wasn't just a 2-week search. It was. They was in here for a month.
It makes me sick. I'm on a freaking puke, boy.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they have no worries
how
about
the
me.
heck? And they know me. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, just like Fred.
That's something that he got a kid. It's hard to even, I cry. That's how teed off I am. It is. It is, man. And I'd heard a kid like that.
Right.
I mean, it messes with you. I mean, I'm all but.
Right. I mean, that's offensive.
They watch over me. That's all I've done is fist fight. Growing up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't nothing mean at this or that. Because I went to a slow learning school and everything else. I guess that's... Who could you blame it on better?
You know what Andy maintains for years, including when we talked to the feds after Summer vanished, is that has been and was Dawn. That he almost caught. He's maintained that since he met Dawn. It's like, that's the guy.
I can't wear this to my daughter's wedding.
You know, until recently, and we also had animal issues and dogs disappearing and weird things to the dogs at the time. I thought that, and I was like, holy crap, because I was on the friends who were trying to piece this together with other people. And I thought it was a new revelation. Because I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that when Elwood and Blondie and all that, and they kept coming back after disappearing, and the litters were at the bottom of the mailbox, and they weren't there to bark at whoever this was at the window, and all these things. Was that not because it was a birthday reminder of their birthday in October, right before Halloween, is what popped it up. And I was like, wait a minute, when did the problems with the dogs start with us? Well, it coincides with the exact time the Peeping Tom was there on our property. And now I'm putting together that age with my own and our separate incident 5 and 6 years ago. And the dogs. It bothers me greatly. And they all may just be coincidence. 5, 6, 5, 6. And years in between at that, right? Here's 5 or 6 years going in between incidents. Some are missing. And you know, also what strikes me as weird, there was conversations during the same time that the Peeping Tom was active on our property. Carly Trent went missing too during that time, although she was found and went, you know, God. But then what I get is people trying to make me misremember what I heard and saw the day Summer disappeared. And that's something nobody on this fucking earth for any amount of money is gonna do. Nobody. Not ever. You ain't gonna bribe me. You're not gonna scare me. You're not gonna make me stand down. Nope. So what I then get is somebody told me that you said the last place you'd seen Summer was getting out of the shower with Donnie. No, that's not what you seen and saw. The fuck it ain't. Last time I saw that little girl was 2 nights before she went missing, and that's exactly what I saw. That's exactly what I heard. She was naked as the day is long at that damn door at the top level, and she was yelling at you for a damn towel while the oldest was out there talking and chatting with me, and you were yelling at him because he was like, Jody Sue's right about the dogs. Once again, you all keep dismissing since day one and trying to make it seem like it ain't something it is. And those fucking dogs are the key. Those dogs are the key. You want to know how I know that? Because they're partly my pups. Because I've watched, I've listened, because my brain ain't burnt out. Because I sat there for over a month listening in the dark as footsteps left that driveway, as gravel crunched below Dawn's heels, as I listened to boards lift up and things move around in the dark, as I watched things disappear off of my trail cams after y'all suddenly realized I had them. I know Andy saw her the night before she went missing. But I saw her 2 nights before. Because I want to be that petty of a bitch and be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck everything. I'll just come here and fuck everything. I just say all the things. But I don't. Because fuck all of them. It's fine. And it's kind of what they want to. I ain't playing that, you know? But I've always had proof and truth on my side, and that's all you motherfuckers are lying. McDonough, Allie, Hunter, the rest. Fred and I both know, don't you, Fred? Dawn,
Candace, Allie's ghost, Hunter, we all know everybody been full of bullshit. Marlena's, everybody's, of course. We know who and what the real people were. And y'all know that some of us know. And we know, and everybody over there doing all this fuck shit. Ever named all the right names, real people, targeted whatever, done all the fuck shit. Y'all just been fucking around fuck shit. And, I'm real sick of it. You know? And, you know, some of us know.
I know you did a few videos on Summer Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Summer Wells is real case?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't think anything
100%.
sinister with that?
I think some weirdo in the holler snatched her.
So you think it was like an opportunity thing? Like she was unattended?
Somebody's been over the house a couple times, knows the road.
But where is she?
Who knows?
If not for those pesky meddling kids.
Wells, the 5-year-old, reported missing from the Hawkins County region of Rogersville, Tennessee on June 15th, 2021. No one knows what happened to her. There has never been any trace or evidence of her since. Like she just vanished in the thin air, someone went missing in the Ben Hill Hollow of the Beach Creek area. Located at the foothills of Chimney Top Mountain, Ben Hill is notorious for crime. From shootouts to drugs, from thieves to prostitution. You name it, Ben Hill known to got it. The locals in the area describe Ben Hill as a trading post for all illegal activity. But society's outlaws went for a good time. People who lived on Ben Hill seem to operate or take part in this function, each seemingly to have their own illegal business operating separately. Although it's most likely that each operation was like a cog in a much bigger wheel that is ran by what the people of Ben Hill call what they call the uppers. This recent statement had my head rolling on the floor.
Guling di lantai hanya untuk mengambil cangkir itu lagi. Ada seseorang, saya yakin dia adalah seorang pria yang ditangkap di Sullivan County karena kasus ganja.
Dan dia memiliki antek-antek kecil yang menjual ganja untuknya dan melakukan pengiriman untuknya. Saya pikir Andi adalah salah satunya. Dia memiliki antek-antek kecil yang menjual ganja untuknya dan melakukan pengiriman untuknya. Saya pikir Andi adalah salah satunya. Saya pikir Andi adalah salah satunya. Kalian bisa melihat situs web itu dan melihat penangkapan dan itu.
Nah, Anda tahu, Dev, Anda tahu, Anda mungkin, saya tidak tahu apakah Anda tahu, Dev, seperti saudara perempuan saya meninggal, dan dia menikah dengan seorang Brown, Anda tahu. Dev banyak menggunakan ganja dan kokain, Anda tahu, barang-barang. Tetapi, Anda tahu, di mana? Anda tahu, di mana mereka mengubur Carol, kakak perempuan tertua saya, Carol? Saya tidak tahu. Pemakaman Morrison tepat di seberang jalan dari tempat pemakaman. Kakak perempuannya yang tertua di pemakaman Morrison tepat di seberang properti Wells dan dia menikah dengan David Brown. Sekarang bagi Anda yang baru mengenal sekolah agama, izinkan saya membawa Anda kembali ke siapa David Brown. Oke. Jadi tahun lalu killer membuat beberapa artikel tentang berdiri di gerbang di ujung Simpson Road dan itu juga pintu masuk Bestreet Creek Road untuk sisi lain gerbang.
Malam ini, kru sedang mencari di darat. Helikopter memindai di atas. Kami diberitahu bahwa polisi telah memblokir jalan raya di daerah itu agar mereka dapat melakukan pencarian menyeluruh.
Itu benar. Sebelumnya malam ini sekitar pukul 7, Sheriff Hawkins County Ronnie Lawson mengatakan gadis kecil berusia 4 tahun bernama Summer Wells, dan mungkin kami dapat menunjukkan fotonya lagi di sini sebentar lagi, bahwa dia terakhir terlihat berjalan menjauh dari rumahnya di Ben Hill Road, dan itu adalah terakhir kalinya dia.
Get Virgin Media's scene.
Whoever it was knew where she was.
Look, the last thing I is a know-it-all. And nobody knows it all. I know just as much as y'all, and then it processes in my brain, and I come back to y'all and see what y'all process. Man, it'd be hard to, believe she's not passing. Nobody thinks she's passing. Y'all know something different, man, you know, y'all right. Y'all try to find some footage besides Don up there on Chimney Top Trail. No, one time, not known footage. I can look too, but grassy paths and hidden up there. You're not gonna find that unless you got somebody like Miss Laurel that. Man, I ain't gonna lie, she pulled right into people's driveway. I don't know if the boss lady was lost, but man, some of y'all had left in comments, man, she got some cojones. Man, she drove up to some of the spots Don said he... It's dumb. I can't say nothing else, but it's dumb.
And I saw an iron gate with brick posts. I kept getting a funeral home, which is most likely a landmark of sorts. No, it might have been a landmark to drive through. I mean, see, that it was definitely, it was weird. It was weird. Yeah. And I saw an iron gate with brick posts. I kept getting a funeral home, which is most likely a landmark of sorts. It might have been a landmark to drive through. I mean, see, that it was definitely, it was weird.
I had a dream. Thousands, 100,000, a million of us standing at that gate. I don't know why, but we're just standing at the gate, strong, all lined up, staring at that gate. What's on the other side of that gate? That's why I need your help.
Helped with the search efforts yesterday. We're told about 2,400 acres has been searched since last Tuesday night.
killers videos, y'all gotta stop that shit. Even in the loop, y'all gotta stop that shit. Might be some Easter eggs or something, even killer miss. You know what I'm saying? Till we knew about all this, and Don recently said, like, unfinished cabin, dirt roads that you can't even see. I'm not even talking about route roads. I'm talking about like a grassy patch that get you somewhere.
Oh my god.
I'm feeling.
God, you're so small.
Soalnya perasaan saya Nana. Recently I did not realize that this doesn't hurt my shoulders or anything. Oh, it's because this is my small or something.
Y'all remember what I said? A million of us standing on the other side of that gate.
My brain worked that way. I don't know why. I need y'all feedback. I need to know what y'all know.
His wife kept Summer some. So Del Sidebottom's wife kept Summer some. She left Del in July and divorced. The preacher left the church. Wow. Okay. Fred said he doesn't know him. But that is interesting because I know a lot of people don't believe in psychics and stuff, but it just seems to keep coming up with something to do with a preacher, the church, or a church. That name sounds familiar, though.
I saw Summer buried in dirt inside a building. It may have been a barn, a shed, or underfloor where there's dirt. I saw two men in some bushy area. Oh, this is a different vision. And they appeared to put her maybe in a little box down a ravine underneath what appeared to be a hollow log, but sometimes they keep in a barrel, and I'm wondering about that as well. So, really clean. One. I wish I had the photograph because I did all this work on maps to show you guys. At least we're on here. At least we're on.
Let's show. At least we made it. Yes.
So first, if you're from this, I would say that they temporarily buried her and then moved her. I believe this is intergenerational, and I think by now everybody kind of knows that. So I talk about that a little bit to the police and things I saw. So in a couple other readings, I saw a brick building with white columns where Summer was brought to. So she was moved around. Like when this happened, she was moved around a little bit. There is a brick building with white columns, and I saw an iron gate with brick post. I kept getting a funeral home, which was most likely a landmark of sorts. The real weird thing was after I had done a short reading, which I sent over that Carl at Enchanted Life Path.
Much are these massive bubble tents?
The real weird thing was after I had done a short reading, which I sent over that Carl at Enchanted Life Path, and I didn't send him the whole thing. It was just a specific question. I said I have to draw a line where they showed me before I forget, and I did. And then I sent him the screenshot of this specific funeral home, and I said that someone from that church had been fired from there. But that I saw 3 men actively participating in what felt like I don't know if you're even allowed to say.
Yeah, just cryptically say it if you can.
SU film.
Right.
In which the reading I saw, they would have kept her around for a while, but had to do a standard dozier, D-O-Z-I-E-R, combined with the fact that I saw one man in costume plunge, and there is that likely explains it. Other possible urban slang dictionary was, quote, to overdose on medication or to make a slave. So in the end, hopefully they made a pretend movie or something. I always hope until the end. Always hope. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's, this is my vision.
Right.
It happened in my vision. It's all very theatrical. I mean, and the spirits show you everything for a reason. So a lot of people have took that up and ran with it, and it did look very theatrical. They were filming it, and the person doing the main things was wearing a costume. And what I said, he just did her. I saw that they were filming this. Okay, so then I talked about the aquarium. Some people think that was Aquarium at Space Mountain Park. It sounds more like the aquarium in Gatlinburg. So essentially, somebody was following them around in Gatlinburg, looking at Summer, right?
I'll see you later, love you, come back.
Here I contacted Don Wells. I told them that. And he told me right a couple days, that weekend right prior to Summer's disappearance, she Candace was running all over the sport. Apparently that same day, she also took the kids a few miles over when I was saying in that first reading, everything but is upside down and all this kind of stuff. That's Wonderworks. And so for me, what that does is it would give a date where if too much time hadn't gone by, the LA should be looking at all their surveillance to see a man that didn't interact with them really, but stayed about 20 feet away or so and was kind of following them around. It felt to me like this was a showing, like he was going to see the kid in person, see if he wanted to pay for the kid. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. Okay, so Wonderworks is an upside-down building, and it's on Candace's TikTok videos. It's an upside-down building it's a tourist thing, and I said John Bonet's coming in. Well, they had a John Bonet display at Wonderworks, so at least at the time. So what that did for me personally was confirm that it's very likely the rest of my reading is accurate as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I saw a carousel, and at that time, so then I was much to my surprise, after the reading, I go on to there and look up I look up carousel in Hopkins County, Tennessee, and there's a carousel in Kingsport. So that is, of course, likely the place where some sort of transaction took place, some sort of interaction. And as you can see in the 12-minute, I did see the mother, but I didn't see the father.
It's Tweety.
Killer went over the footprints near the same area of the Sidebottom property by this gate. And if you remember, Don spoke about the footprints and how they were up on a ridge by an unfinished cabin. He said he never could find it. He found 2 trailers, but was scared to go back in there. And last year, Brother School's investigations put David Brown living at the 2 trailers at the time of Summer's disappearance, right by the gate, to which they sold the property months later. Was this who Don was afraid of?
Okay, so footprints, okay, if you go out on Bentonville Road and you go west, so you go past our property all the way to the end, and you get down a little ways west up this way, there's a dirt road. I can't remember the name of the road, but you turn left into that and you see a bunch of no trespassing signs and all that. You follow the dirt road and it takes you all the way up on top of that hill up there, which overlooks our property. When you're up there, you can look down on our property and see our house. You're looking down on our house, and we live on a hill, so it's a pretty high hill. So there's an unfinished cabin up there. This is the way TBI explained it to me. There's an unfinished cabin up there, and it rained like 2 or 3 days before Summer come up missing. So they found a footprint around the unfinished cabin. I went up there and I looked everywhere. I don't know what they're talking about, unfinished cabin. I found a trailer. I found 2 trailers, and the other property I was kind of scared to go up around, but
Alright, my people. King. Taking them notes. I might better help you, man. You talk about another set of footprints, the unfinished cabin, up on the hill, on top of the hill, watching your hill. I don't know if I found what you're talking about. We're definitely looking at some unfinished cabin up on the hill off a dirt trail, looking up on your hill.
Then there was the thought that on that Saturday night that I got into town, which would have been 4 days after she went missing, is that somebody said that they found a footprint. Now, I don't know the truth about that, but they had TBI, FBI, they had some of the locals there late at night. I got into town about 11 o'clock, and they were still searching until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, from what I understand, because they went under the assumption. Is that, oh hell, maybe if she was abducted, they're seeing all of this go down. They dropped her back off near the woods, and that she was now walking the woods by herself. So then they set up this good perimeter around there, and just kind of worked our way more towards the house to create that funnel effect. And we followed creeks. There wasn't a damn stone unturned.
You need a body to be a light to this world. He wants us to be a city that's set up on a hill that cannot be hid. You have to have bodies if you're going to have a city on a hill that cannot be hid. Dust can betray you. Dust can do horrible things to you. Dust can be horrific upon the face of this earth. Do unimaginable things. It can be sinful. It can be all those things. But yes, dust can also stretch out its arms on the old rugged cross and bear my sins and my price for my sins. Dust can spill blood that washes me from my unrighteousness.
The locals had long suspected there was more to this story, a darker connection lurking between and beneath the surface. Who is David Brown? And being here, there was always one unspoken rule. No one ever really talks, but at the same time, no secrecy is buried. around them. Y'all leave y'all comments, what y'all think, any process data y'all had down below. And I appreciate y'all listening to this speak. On the Killer List channel, y'all already knew that. If you didn't know, welcome to the channel. And gripped the nation, leaving countless questions unanswered. But what if I told you there are still secrets buried in the shadows of this tragic mystery?
The search for now 6-year-old Summer Wells. Crews are back in Hawkins County, going back to the areas of interest on a small scale search. That's what we're told this is being. They're searching again. This is not the first time. It's not even the second or third time they've revisited this area.
Good morning, everyone. This is Ainsley Daniel with WJHL. I am here in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County as the search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells is well into its 4th full day here. There was an Amber Alert issued for her earlier this week. I am just out here in Hawkins County. I am here at the Watch Incident Command Center where all of the law enforcement and search crews are kind of gathering up here at Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church. I'm going to flip this around though because I do want to tell you guys about something I just saw. So I did just see a search crew go through this field here. I'm about 1.8 miles from Summer's home on Ben Hill Road. Again, there was a search crew that just walked through here due to the tough terrain and things of that nature that we've been talking about all week, that law enforcement and these search crews have been talking about all week. We haven't been able to physically see search crews. They've been up in the woods. They've been in these places where media has not been able to get to it. So today has been the first day that we've actually been able, to kind of see the search expanded into the visible public eye. Now, the road where she went missing, Ben Hill Road, which is where she lives, is blocked off right now. Law enforcement say that it's too small for more than one vehicle to be down right now. They are stopped at both sides of it, so there's really no way for us to get into that road, and they're telling us that it's very small, so that way media can't be in there, as well as the search crews and things of that nature.
The footprint found in the gray area between Ben Hill and Fields Road. A whisper of shortcuts, hidden paths, and unseen movements.
A footprint on a ridge line. Not any ridge line. A very steep and long ridge line. This is the real shit. 2 footprints, child size, barefoot. Not my kid's print. One on my land, one on the neighbor's land. Neighbors don't want their name or location mentioned. I do not want my location shown either. Search dogs barked on my land. Deputy asked me questions about my kid's shoe sizes. I asked if the dog's barking meant it was her scent. He said yes. Said it had to be recent print. Left after she disappeared. However, they had been there for multiple days before they found the print. This is outwardly. This is on the way out, right? So you've got a footprint here, and then you've got a footprint up here. It says right here, no other scent or footprints, nothing else to base it on, but that sounds like she was being carried and was set down to make it through a rough area. Now, you would expect more prints if she was walking. True. Search crews, and here is the price of tea in China, people. Search crews had been all over my land for several days. Now, I said 3. Several is more than 3. 3 is a few, 2 is a couple. Several days before the footprint was found. So there were already plenty of adult footprints there. Fair enough, and I hope that the police didn't just stop it. Oh, goodness. Look at all these adult prints. We'll never be able to track down who could have been with her. Ah, jeez. This is also very interesting, as a child was seen walking away from her own home. or near her own home. At 7 p.m. Westward as we go, quite naturally, they're gonna run into Fields Road. Fair enough? Moving forward. Now, it's gonna get interesting here pretty quick. I mean, I'm sure a whole bunch of y'all knew this, but I, however, did not.
There was an opening she could kind of at least across to almost Bell. Like there's that opening, that property goes almost to Bell. You just have to cross a little section of forest, and then you're on Bell Road.
See, what you do is you actually jump two roads when you come the back way through. It's right there. You jump.
They are not saying me, saying us. Say, be quiet, me to me a woman. No, we're free. Me, I say, this one, we can want the fifth time. So now we need dear. Now, me catch you, and they say, oh, my car, we free me Saturday and a very insane baby, their money. And so, into a more no man, Chibiana, I walk on me, and no crown as a time now, swimming. Near Dimico, Libo, or buy into or buy and not or your clothes. Now we are no so full, yeah, define. I feel next neighbor who crack catch me say, Bob be brace, can so one here. Waka bikwa wa wunya baby no ye ne ho bibia fine de ne ko to o de ne ko na ne ho me ne brief ne so nye so mo ne ko share we say the oxygen sisi ne so a we na omoso machines na oxygen ne sisi omoso no encourage ono the pressure see and so the
back way through it's right there. You jump from Ben Hill, you jump either across Bell or Field.
Yeah.
And then you come back into the woods behind, and you go on down to here.
Right. But getting to Bell or Fields is a mile, maybe? If that. It's not even, it's just
closer. Cut half a mile, 3/4 of a mile off if you go through the woods from Ben Hill to Field.
That's what I thought.
That's the way I used to go when I'd go to my cousin's house. If I was walking, I would go up behind Gorley's house, split the gap, and come out. Actually, I can show you where I go.
But the only reason she would do that is because, like we were talking about earlier, she wouldn't have gone off on her own for no reason. But if she's running from someone, then maybe she was terrified, right? She could have taken off and ended up in the middle of there.
Where did they say? I've heard two stories on the footprints. Somebody said they was up toward Fred. Somebody said they were down this way.
One up toward Fred. One on the property that I'm talking about that goes to that big clearing. We can go on Ben Hill if you want to, and I can show you where they are. And then Bell Road, there's a property on the top of a hill on Bell Road, and that's where another footprint was, around there.
That's my cousin.
Your cousin? Do you know him? Like when he freaked out if he showed up? Yeah. Okay. You don't know him? Okay. You know, have you done Bell all the way to where there's like a turnoff point? Launch your drone up there, you could go above Gorley's. That would be a nice view of all the area that she could have possibly
that'd been. Because all that shit where they're saying the feet prints are behind Gorley's. That connects right on the back side of Bell Road.
Okay. That's a concentration of her prints.
Have you seen Gorley's house? How it sets his property? Okay, so if you're at the gate, when you go in the holler, just look at the gate. You'll see a house way back there. If you go straight back that holler behind that house, it brings you through the woods to the back side of Bell Road down there.
I thought they blocked it off. I tried to get
you can't drive through there.
Oh yeah, I tried to get through there one time.
But what if there's more, y'all? A point of interest no one talks about. A location significant enough to catch the attention of the TBI during the November 2021 search. That wasn't just a routine sweep, y'all. Nothing routine about it. It involved both ground teams and aerial surveillance. And when the TBI posted it on Twitter, there it was. marked location. All y'all working, all y'all pounding the data, all y'all out there. Zoom in, you'll find it near the back of Fields Road, edging towards properties on Chimney Top. A place quietly murmured about as a potential shortcut. Lincoln, Ben Hill, and Fields Road.
A team put together by the Wells family private investigators were back in Hawkins County today with eyes on the ground and in the air. The technology used today can even detect burial sites.
When you put someone in the ground, basically as they decompose, and it kind of kills everything around it, but as everything grows back over time, it flourishes. It kind of creates a super fertile soil. And what you can detect on near infrared is the different color of the ground that you couldn't normally see with the naked eye.
8 people were a part of the search crew today.
Where is Summer Wells? I want to talk for a second about drone ground penetrating technology. Drones from the sky can actually look down below to determine if the soil has been tampered with or if there's bodies right underneath the soil.
Beach Creek, headed in a westerly direction towards Fields Road. They are actually pointed towards and taking pictures of the direction westward towards Fields Road. Now, they are essentially in this area right here. This is the property right here. They're like right here. They're headed over there. They've been to this area before because it's a previous area of interest. Yeah. Now, if anyone remembers, they did a search in November. And what they said was they were going to do sort of a pop-up search because the foliage was coming down and they could see the visibility was a little bit better. That was also the day, now Jody has since removed all of that. Does anyone remember? That was the day Jody missed her oncology appointment because of the search, right? Now, that same day, I called Candace and Grandis to see what they were up to. And they were playing Monopoly. Does everyone remember? Now, when you look at, you had segues in, or I did it anyhow. You had a window in to each household or trailer hold. So, at the Bernard trailer hold, she's on the floor tweaking, missing the damn oncology report or day. Because they're doing a search somewhere, right? Now, Candace and Grandis, however, they're playing Monopoly on the same day. Not worried at all about any search. Now, at that time, I thought, well, wow, that's a pretty calloused, cold-blooded. That's some real street shit to do to somebody, right? Your daughter's being searched for. You and your mom, you're up there playing Texas Monopoly. It didn't hit right then. It hits different last night. It hit different. It was like, okay. So you've got the Wells over here playing Monopoly. And you got Jody Sue on the floor of her camper tweaking out. Can't make it to the oncology because they're doing a search. As someone like Jody Sue, when you see this pop up on the news and you know exactly where that's at, probably your go-to response is, oh shit. All of a sudden, about 3/4 of a mile to a mile away, you've got this previous area of interest, which a lotto odd, right? This is a lotto odd, that the child is going to go missing from Ben Hill, walk westwardly, and have some sort of significance to yet another property that's accessible by the neighbors on Ben Hill at 1. That's accessible by the neighbors on Ben Hill at 125.
Some selling their whole ass land anyways, because they're like, fuck this, what if something's in place?
But what if there's more, y'all?
Going to talk a little bit about the Summer Wells thing. There's been some breaking news in the Summer Wells case that's happened out in Rogersville. You may remember her. She is the little girl, 5-year-old little girl that's been missing for about a year and a half now. Ben Hill Road is where they live in Rogersville, Tennessee. We have not given up and looking for this little girl. And I'm going to tell you about the American Recovery Project. And I want everybody that's concerned about Summer Wells to go to this website. This is Larry's website and his team. American Recovery Project. It is a nonprofit that searches and finds missing people. I got a call from Larry the other day, and I believe it was Saturday. And they had used this high-tech thing that they have. When the U.S. military has satellites going around, they can look in on terrorist camps and so forth, and they've got stuff where we can see the back of a car and see what the tail, the tag is on the tail end of the car. This computer system that Larry and his team have isn't quite that good, but it can certainly zoom in at a particular time and date. Hold on one second. A particular time and date in history that these satellites were flying over. These satellites have to be where they can see. There can't be any cloud cover. But if you know the time that a little girl was missing and the date the little girl was reported missing, then you can go to the the longitude and latitude of these satellites of the particular time and the particular day that Summer Wells, for instance, went missing. And you can purchase the video and pictures of that the satellite company puts out there. And that's exactly what he did. And so he went to the time and day that Summer Wells went missing, and he constantly kept looking to see who pulled in up there and so forth. I can tell you this, particular people were there in a particular vehicle, and I can only tell you certain things here, and I'll let him tell you the rest of it, but that he followed with those satellite images where that particular vehicle went to, and it went to this location where these bones are. They followed it to that location. You can tell how long there were 4 people that got out of the car and only 3 people came back. So you can't make out their faces, but you could tell how many bodies were there and how many were, in other words, live bodies walked into the woods, how long they were gone, and were gone for 3 hours, and then came back with so there's 4 went in and only 3 came out. And that's why Larry and his team decided to look over there and see what they could find. I'm going to show you what Larry and his team found, and we'll start where they were. I cannot tell you the location of this as of yet. Larry might be able to do that tomorrow, but as of right now, I cannot. But this is the area, okay? This is where they were tromping around on Saturday, and they stumbled upon bones. And most of the bones were approximately 6 inches under the ground. Some were above the ground. It was it's beside sort of a river that's out there. And this one particular person told us that Summer had, thank you, Mike, thank you, that Summer was in the horse pond, and but this particular place was by a river, water comes in when it floods. Some more bones right here, and come on down. Now one was laying right, there's another one right here. It's almost like in a shallow grave, okay? And there was some articles of clothing that was there. Let me show that to you right here. Does that look like little girl's clothing? We don't know. Here's another picture of it right there. But after the anthropologist saw this and saw this pelvis, show it to you, they believe this is to be of a 22-year-old person and not Summer Wells.
This is a map to the satellite. Now, the satellite that the company that Wisconsin Mama had contacted, they were the ones that seen the vehicle coming out of the wells going to this certain location on June 15, 2021, the very day Summer came up missing. This is also the location where the 22-year-old, from what they're saying, 22-year-old, we don't know, because we're not getting any information on it due to the fact that it's a John or Jane Doe, or the fact that law enforcement just don't want to put out anything yet upon it for some unknown reason. But it was the very location, it went to the very location where whoever this body belongs to was found. That's what I'm saying.
On the 15th, there was actually three blue vans on the road. One was Fred's sister. One was the blue van of, was somebody named Lynn? The blue van of that Fred said had a different side door, like the door was a different color than the van, and the person in the passenger seat was a mixed girl.
This is the picture that Danny sent me that's supposed to be from the satellite picture. And this is what she was talking about. She was seeing on the ground below.
Yeah, I see people.
According to Fred,
Trigger warning.
cops, the law enforcement claimed, he said law enforcement found a shallow grave, and claimed that she had been moved. Quite the claim. Over on Andy's, that other property, they said that they found what looked like was a freshly dug grave area.
Freshly dug grave area. Yeah, somewhere in the vicinity of the end of Fields Road. This area. She claims Fred said the police told him that in this area they'd found a shallow grave and that they believe she had been moved. This is Ziggy's account of what Fred said.
They have another property. The Bernards own another property down over on Fields Road that's actually been searched. And it's been focused on very heavily by law enforcement.
So, she claims, and she's corroborated with many other people, that somewhere in this area, where the Bernards own the property, that this is part of a heavier investigation. Allegedly, okay? It's all alleged.
You know where her body is, and if they don't let anybody up on the property, then that means she's probably she's up there. And they're trying to cover up where the bones are gone too, where there's nothing, you know.
Could this explain the footprints, the triangle? Could be the missing piece in a puzzle everyone has struggled to solve. The possibilities are as haunting as they are compelling in this data. What do you think? Is there more to the shortcut that meets the eye? Are there more shortcuts that we haven't seen? Dive in with us as we pull back the curtain of Summer Wells mystery and bring fresh eyes to forgotten clues. I love y'all. Clock in, clock in.